A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one, Tejashwi's promise will scrap Waqf Act if voted to power. There is one word I'm sure all of you know, scrap. Usually we use the word scrap as a noun, but here it has been used as a verb. Here, what does it mean? To cancel something or to remove something, to discard something. All these words you have to recollect. Abolish something. Otherwise, simple, and here, grammar point of view, I will do something. You have to recollect one important rule. We use will or shall, with first person singular and plural, means I and we. With other pronouns, we should use only will, we cannot use shall. Going to the next one. And one more word you have to focus on, power. Power, why should you focus on? In English, we have a few synonyms. Power and authority. These two are synonyms. And English people sometimes they do consider two synonyms one unit. Based on that, we should use a singular verb. For example, his power and authority are known to everyone. Wrong. His power and authority is known to everyone. Here, power and authority considered one unit. Coming to the next one, aging population. Japan has a problem. What is it? Aging population. When people get old, they don't have the same energy levels. It is quite obvious. Power monger, you have to recollect. Very good. And the nation looks for youngsters. And imagine the country does not have a lot of youngsters. It does not have the demographic dividend like India. It has to source from outside. Here it says, because of aging population, Japan seeks workers from India, but people ties lag. Lag behind. I'm sure all of you know. Lag behind means fall behind. And when it comes to ties between India and Japan, especially on the front of people, people ties lag behind, are lagging. Means what? We don't have good ties in that particular area or domain. Coming to the next one, Lowry heist. How do we pronounce this? Heist. That means a robbery involving high stakes. High stakes robbery, we use the word heist. And this happened in France. Based on that, French officials arrest two suspects. French officials arrest two suspects. Simple words. But every time you come across crime, you have to recollect all the related words. Generally, a robbery, theft. But for theft, British English, theft, American English, burglary. Thief, British, burglar, American English. Both you have to recollect. Data point, extraditions to India. You all know the word extradition, sending back to one's country of origin. You should recollect. Good. Naidu, Pavani, here. Pilfer. Pilfer goes with small things, but swindling money, embezzlement, feather one's own nest, they go with a different context. Heist, a different context. Extraditions. You have to recollect words like fugitive, a refugee. Fugitive, excuse me. Fugitive is a person who commits crime in a particular country and absconds to another country, escapes to another country. Then we use word fugitive. Sending back that person, extradition. And here the article says, extraditions to India, most of them are economic offenders. Here, crime could be of different types, but economic offenders, usually it seems majority. The cases of extradition, they go with economic offenders. Coming to the next one, cricket, perfect finish. Jones powers England past New Zealand. means they have won against New Zealand. You have to recollect all those words. Yes. Let us go to the main headline. Asian ties make steady progress. PM. It's about the summit and a gathering, and based on that, making steady progress. Steady progress means consistent. You should recollect that also. Otherwise, nothing to learn as such. Coming to the other snippets, cricketers told to inform officials when going out. It's in some sort of condition. Told to inform officials when going out. Trump hikes US tariffs on Canada by additional 10%. There's a row between Canada and the US. Against that background, Trump has decided to increase the tariffs by 10% more, it seems, additional 10%. Pakistan ties will not be at India's expense, Rubio. Here, Pakistan ties will not be at the expense of India, at India's expense, means not at the cost of relationship with India. They are both are independent. That's what the statement says. CBI takes charge of probe into the Karur stampede. I think we have got this many a time related to Karur stampede. Now it has gone into the hands of the CBI. Coming to the beautiful pic, a traditional pic, here you can see reflecting Indian culture, Indian tradition, festive theme, holy event. You have to recollect the other Holi, usually youngsters, Holi, Holi, festival of colors. But here Holi, Holy, related to religion, holy, sacred. And also you have to recollect all the words related to religion, devotion, devotional, pilgrim, pilgrimage, all these. It's about a particular festival. Motorcyclist involved in Kannur bus tragedy was drunk and riding rashly. You all know about this incident where initially they said 19, later 25, but looks like the number has come down to 19 again. And who was responsible? What was the reason behind? Against that backdrop, the headline says the motorcyclist involved in Kannur bus tragedy was drunk and riding rashly. Rash driving is always dangerous. And they have given descriptive English letter writing a few times, the menace of stray dogs, the menace of reckless drivers, or the menace of rash driving. Menace means a threat. Coming to drunk, very important because it has three different meanings. He has drunk poison, drink, drank, drunk. I have used as a verb, consume. Second, he is drunk right now. Don't talk to him. Means he is intoxicated. Third one, he is a drunk. Means alcoholic. Old English we would say drunkard. Now we say drunk or alcoholic. All the three you have to know. Goyal to visit Brussels as India-EU trade talks intensify. Intensification, putting in more effort. That's all from the front page. Today, the regular pattern, editorial analysis, editorial vocabulary, and mini mocks based on exam topics. This is the enrichment. Let us go to editorial vocabulary. Not too many words. Some words are important, though we have got many a time. But we always have new students, keeping them in mind. Intoxicated, what is the opposite? Sober. Very good. Pravalika, aspirant. You have to recollect words like teetotaler, drunk, alcoholic, anonymous call, and also this one, sober, opposite of getting intoxicated. Hands off approach. That means it can be an adjective, it can be not exactly an idiom, but idiomatic expression in a way. Meaning not directly involved, allowing others to act without interference. You don't involve yourself directly into something. You allow others, you give a chance to others to do something about that. Then your approach is called hands-off approach. The government should take a hands-off approach and let scientists decide the winners. Word forms: hands off adjective, hands off approach, phrase. That's what I've just said. There's a typical combination you have to remember. Word combinations: hands off policy, hands off leadership, hands off management, hands off approach. Synonyms: non interfering, detached, neutral, uninvolved, laissez faire, foreign expression. And antonyms: interfering, controlling, authoritarian, hands on. When you see the expression hands on, you have to recollect one important combination. Hands on experience means experiencing something practically. He has hands on experience. Very important expression you have to remember. Second word, confer. Confer goes with awards, titles. Here, part of speech, verb, meaning, to give, and honor, very important. H is silent, title, degree, or right. Or to discuss and exchange opinions. Generally, it doesn't go with a second meaning. It goes with give someone an award or a title. Example: the awards were conferred by the Center for Scientific Achievement. Word forms: confer, confers, conferred, it's a regular verb. Conferring, conferring, conferral, conferment. Generally, we don't use these forms. We use it as a verb. Word combinations: confer an award, a degree, with someone, honor upon. Synonyms: bestow, important word. Other words are easy: grant, award, present, discuss. But you have to remember the word bestow, bestow with, confer with. Antonyms: withdraw, revoke, deny, withhold. Cap. I'm sure all of you know the word cap. Cap. Hat, cap. But there it is a noun. Here it is a verb. As a verb, what does it mean? Part of speech verb can be a noun, obviously. To place an upper limit on something, to restrict the maximum number or amount. Example: the total number of awards is capped at 56. Word forms: it's a regular verb. That's what you have to know. And we can use ing form as a noun as well. Gerund. Word combinations: cap the number, salary, cap, spending cap, cap on emissions. Means a restriction, curb, restrict, yes. Synonyms: limit, restrict, constrain, curb, bound. These are important words. Expand, increase, raise, extend. Antonyms. The next word, stature. Stature, I don't know how many of you know. When we talk about someone, we say his stature. It does not go with his stature, means his position in the eyes of the society. Part of speech, noun, the level of respect or importance gained by ability or achievement. Every individual, based on his or her ability, gains some sort of respect, and then based on that, we say he has got a very good stature in the society. Example: the awards were intended to raise their stature to the level of national recognition. All these, they have been domain specific. Now they would like to take the status, you can say status also, very good. But status has a different connotation. Stature has a different connotation. They wanted to take it to the national recognition. Stature, noun. Word combinations: international stature. Here you can also use words like international reputation. He is a man with international stature, means international reputation. Moral stature, intellectual stature, stature of a leader. Reputation, prestige, standing, eminence, status. Antonyms: obscurity, insignificance, unimportance, mediocrity. Simple words for our students. I hope you all agree. Coming to the editorial analysis, today's editorial, innovate, is important because it goes with awards in the domain or sphere or realm of science and technology, especially science. Scientific, conferring scientific awards, prestigious awards. Hands-off approach. Whose approach should be hands-off? The government's approach. It should be left to the scientific community. That is the stand taken by the editorial on the Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar Awards. What is the main idea? Scientists are the best judges of excellence in science. The minister, when you read the article, you understand, minister cannot decide. It should be decided by the scientists because they are the people who can understand the profound knowledge of other scientists. Profound means what? Deep. Scientists are the best judges of excellence in science. Crystal clear stand taken by the editorial. And the entire editorial obviously depends on that particular stand. What is the background information? What is the stimulus? It is all about scientific awards, conferring scientific awards. And usually, an editorial like this, before in advance, when you see the headline, you have to guess the broad framework. What could be the framework? First, what is the stimulus? What is the reason for writing this? Something must have happened. What exactly happened? And these awards conferred to whom, why, on what basis, and if at all, the way they decide, is it transparent or opaque? Any prejudice, any bias? If at all there is a problem, what is the stand taken by the writer? This is a broad framework. The government has announced present perfect active voice, a list of 24 individual scientists and a team. They have chosen 24 individual scientists and a particular team as recipients of the second edition. Means they are giving for the second time. First edition in the sense for the first time. Maiden. This is the second time. Second edition of the Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar RVP Awards conferred by the Center for Scientific Achievement. There is a particular Center for Scientific Achievement, apple of one's eye. That's also very good. And here, Center for Scientific Achievement. This particular organization confers the awards. As in 2024, this year too has 4 broad categories. It seems last year also 4 broad categories. Like that, this year also 4 broad categories. What are they? The Vigyan Ratna, Vigyan Shri, Vigyan Yuva Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award and Vigyan Team Award. 3 go with individuals and 1 goes with team. It's a team award based on the 24 individuals and 1 team. The Vigyan Ratna and Vigyan Shri are for scientists who have made distinguished contributions. Distinguished scientists, we also say, means what? Something that stands out, outstanding. Contributions over their lifetime and recent distinguished contributions respectively. One category, lifetime achievement in a way, lifetime contribution. The other category, a recent contribution, a recent achievement. The Yuva is for individuals under 45 and the final one for a team endeavor. Endeavor means attempt, venture. You try to achieve something, you try to do something, not simple, extraordinary. Then we say business endeavor, scientific endeavor. Important word you have to know. In technology development. In theory, the total number of awards under all categories is capped at 56. Though this year, there are fewer than the 33 awarded last year. The number has come down. This is something very important. They have given many a time because it goes with common errors. I'll give an example. I will ask a question, you respond. No less than 20 students came yesterday. No less than 20 students came yesterday. Is this sentence right or wrong? Try to answer this, then I will explain. You can relate something very important. It is wrong. Very good. Who is this? Anil Kumar. Wonderful. Why is it wrong? You have to know 2 words. One is few. The other one, little. I'm sorry, less. What is the other one? Few, less. Few goes with countable nouns and less goes with uncountable nouns. Based on that, Usually people say no less than 20 students came yesterday. That's a common error. Student singular, students plural. We can count. Then we cannot say less than. It is in the comparative form. No fewer than. The same pattern here. There are fewer than the 33 awarded last year. Very important. They've given many a time. And under pressure, not easy to spot the error. The award announcement has been delayed. Has been delayed. Which tense is that? You should also recollect little, a little, the little, few, a few, the few. Few means hardly anything, almost nothing. And a few, at least some. The few, whatever is there or something specific. It is present perfect passive voice. The award announcement has been delayed. Someone has been delayed by several months. But this could indicate greater scrutiny of potential awardees. It has been delayed, and one of the reasons could be, there is one important helping verb. Could expresses the possibility, but chances are less. Usually in our country, people use may. May expresses a possibility, chances are more. But there are three helping verbs. They express a possibility where the chances are less. What are the three helping verbs? Might, could, and should. Could be true. Could indicate greater scrutiny of potential awardees. Scrutinize, to study or to go through something thoroughly. Then we use the word scrutinize. It is important to note that unlike earlier editions of National Science Awards, for instance, the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Awards, there is no cash component given for the RVP to align with the spirit of the Padma Awards. This is an important point you have to know. Current affairs point of view. Past editions, they would give cash, but this time no cash, and it is almost equivalent to Padma Awards. There is no cash component given for the RVP to align with, to match with the spirit of the Padma Awards. But scrutiny is a double-edged sword. Scrutiny is what? Double-edged sword. Why? You have to read, then you understand. Last year, it emerged that some scientists were told about being recipients only to be informed later that their names had been dropped. You have to become alert immediately. Later goes with time. Latter goes with position. When you talk about two positions, first and second, former, latter, that is very important. And later goes with the time factor. Initially, they announced some names. Later, they informed the same scientist, your name has been removed. What could be the reason behind? Based on that, the writer says scrutiny is like a double-edged sword. Last year, it emerged that some scientists were told, past tense passive voice, about being recipients, only to be informed later that their names had been dropped. Past perfect passive voice. Several prominent scientists across India wrote to the office of the Principal Scientific Advisor, PSA, demanding transparency in the process of award selection. Obviously, that must have become controversial. Initially, you get a call, someone says you have been conferred with this award. A few days later, they say, no, your name has been removed. Obviously, the person gets upset, and it may result in some sort of controversy. They would like to know, they would be eager to know the reason behind. Transparency in the process of award selection. There were concerns, person concerned, concerned person wrong, person concerned correct. All our students know. There were concerns that factors other than scientific merit, if at all they remove the name, that should be based on the scientific merit. But it seems in this case, some other factors played a role. There were concerns that factors other than scientific merit, for instance, criticism of government policy and political ideology. This is something strange. Let me tell you a word of caution. I tell whatever is written here. It is completely objective analysis, not my personal stand. Always remember that. And according to the editorial, according to the writer, the reasons were not based on scientific merit. On the contrary, based on scientists criticizing government policies, scientists criticizing government ideology. That is a bit strange. May have played a role, may, again, possibility, may have played a role. Possibility chances are more. The PSA has not categorically responded, hasn't responded. Present perfect active voice categorically means clearly, an important adverb you have to remember. To these demands, except to point out that the selection committee called the Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar Committee, chaired by the PSA, and which includes the secretaries of ministries and members of scientific academics, recommended awardees to the Minister of Science and Technology. It seems these people have recommended the awardees to the Minister of Science and Technology. Based on that, it is not explicit whether the minister can overturn a recommendation made by the committee. It is not explicit means what? It is not clear, it is not obvious, it is not mentioned, it is not direct. Whether the minister can overturn a recommendation made by the committee. Does the minister have the power to overturn or keep aside the decision taken by the committee? That's $1 million question, it seems. Committee, you have to recollect rules that go with collective nouns. The RVP awards were instituted after the Ministry of Home Affairs and heads of science departments concluded in 2022 that there were too many awards being given out by individual scientific departments and hence necessary to trim, bring down the number, cut down the number, and raise their stature to national awards. Their stature to national awards. That's why they brought down the number. While awards such as the SSB awards too were finalized in consultation with the science minister, the centralization and explicit attempt to make the RVP Padma like. It seems they're trying to make these awards at the same level, Padma awards attempt to make the RVP Padma like means that they appear far more politicized than they ought to be. Far more politicized than they ought to be. Means what? Once they want to take it to the national level, some sort of politics likely to creep in. That's what the sentence is. Means that they appear far more politicized than they ought to be. Ought to be, in fact, Western countries, it has become outdated. Ought to, should. They have the same function. What is a function? They are used to either advise or suggest someone. Old English ought to formal and should informal. Because ought to has become outdated, only should is being used in formal, both formal and informal context. But you have to know the pattern. You ought to be punctual. You ought to be diligent. They ought to be not politicized. Means they should not be. Here you have to take it as they should be. They ought to be. If the aim of the RVP is to increase the stature, the government must be seen to have an explicitly hands-off approach. This is the main idea being reiterated. If at all they want to raise these awards given to the scientists, they have to have a particular approach. What is that approach? Hands-off approach. So that transparency and who are the best people. If they keep away from the selection, who are the best to decide who deserves, who does not deserve. Hands-off approach and let scientists judge excellence of their peers. Peer pressure. People at the same level, same age, same status. Scientists should decide who has done a good job, not the minister, not others. The main idea is being reiterated. That's all about the editorial. Let us go to questions based on comprehension skill. Which of the following statements best differentiates RVP awards from the earlier Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar SSB awards? There is a difference. What is that difference? One C. RVP has no cash component and follows the Padma Award model. Answer is C. Very good. You guys got it right. The phrase scrutiny is a double-edged sword in the passage implies that double-edged sword means both positive and negative. What does it imply? An easy one should not be a problem. Two B. Excessive review may ensure fairness but also cause unfair exclusions. What concern did scientists express regarding the RVP selection process? This is also an easy one, should not be a problem. A lack of monetary rewards? No. Possible influence of political or ideological bias. Third one also B, that's right. Too many awards? No. According to the passage, what is not explicitly clear about the award selection process? Something is not quite obvious regarding the selection process. What is that? This is also an easy one to answer. Something is not clear. What is not clear? Whether the science minister can overturn committee recommendations. C is the answer. Very good. Next one. The editorial's tone towards the government's involvement in the award process can best be described as in a way, the question is trying to find out the tone of the editorial, the tone of the writer. Supportive and appreciative? No. Neutral and detached? No need to write. Indifferent? No need to write. So what is the answer? Critical yet cautiously optimistic. C is the answer. Let us go to questions based on exam topics, mini mocks. First you have two questions, error location. Let us see if you can spot the error. No division, read the sentence and try to locate the error. The government has announced a list of 24 individual scientists and a team as recipients of the Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar Awards conferred with scientific achievements. One word, maybe or may not be. No error, respond no error. Very good. Who is this? Within no time, Satish Kumar. Here we cannot use the preposition with. Conferred for something. We have to use conferred for. Conferred for what? What is the reason behind? No, otherwise no problem. Chandini, aspirant, Satish, these guys have got it. Pravalika also. Conferred for scientific achievements. The purpose, conferred for what? Scientific achievement. What is the preposition for? Reason for? The awards, which were instituted in 2022, were meant to consolidate departmental recognitions and raise their stature. The verb confer takes different prepositions. Based on the context, you have to decide which one to be used, which one not to be used. Pavani, first one to respond, I suppose. Here we cannot use rise. What is the correct verb? Raise the stature, raise the standards, raise the quality. Rise, rose, risen, intransitive verb, irregular verb. Raise, raised, raised, a transitive verb and a regular verb. Raise what? Their stature. Very good. Many students have got it right. Let us go to pillars. The government must ensure transparency in the selection process. The awards retain credibility. What is the appropriate word? That is a typical combination I give. Raise the standards. The government must ensure transparency in the selection process. The awards retain credibility. When you read a sentence with a blank, understand the context and see what exactly you have to convey. Here, sentence talks about the government must ensure transparency in the selection process. Then ask the question why? What is the reason behind? Then you have to choose accordingly so that the purpose, the reason behind. Although contrast, even though contrast, unless contrast. So, what is the answer? Must ensure transparency so that the awards retain credibility. When there is transparency, the awards become credible. Credible means believable, authentic. The RVP awards carry no cash component. They align with the spirit of the Padma Awards. They should be. You got it. Very good. The RVP awards carry no cash component. Why? What is the reason behind? They align with the spirit of the Padma Awards. Padma Awards also no cash component. Yes, very good. Here reason, we are talking about reason. And we have 4 conjunctions to express a reason. Because, since, for, as. There's a subtle difference. Because and since are used for a strong reason, as and for used for explanation is live, obviously. Oh, you're talking about something else. Anyhow, here the reason, as and for weak reason. Contrast, contrast, contrast. Not correct. Have you guys chosen because? No, 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 no. Answer is because. Go to the next one. The government centralizes the selection process. Doubts about bias will continue to persist. This is an easy one. First, you understand and try to understand the context. Then you ask yourself, in this context, what is required? Or what does the context talk about? Context talks about as long as the government centralizes the selection process, doubts about bias will continue to persist. Even if, here we don't have to emphasize, unless in a way you can think of, if it does not, if the government does not centralize, no. Because the government centralizes, we cannot use the reason. We are talking about the time factor. As long as the government centralizes the selection process, doubts about bias will continue to persist. That means they have to change. They have to change the approach. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. And tomorrow also the same pattern. I'll try to get more questions. Thank you very much.